how do you strike the balance between empathy and authority? Because at one point, at a certain level, you want your clients, customers, members, users to understand that you know them, right? That you understand their problems, you understand what they're going through, you understand what their needs are. But you also want to position yourself as someone who has the ability to step in and solve that problem. And that could feel like a tricky tension to hold, where you don't want to be so empathetic that they're like, well, you're just my peer. And so it's great that you understand my problem, but I'm not confident that you can solve it. But you also don't want to just so overemphasize the authority that you become this figure that's untouchable or unrelatable, or, how can they, because they're so far removed from where I am, how can they actually serve and help me from where I am right now? How do you strike that balance with messaging when you're working with clients to develop a copy for their websites? What are some of the things that you guys talk through to make sure that you can do that effectively?
So it's kind of funny because a lot of people that are good at communication or that are good at making friends and being there for others, they naturally go through this process and they don't even think about it, right? So here's an example of, let's say I have a 16-year-old son and he's done all of these crazy things, and you have a 16-year-old son and you just met me for the first time and you say, oh my gosh, my son is doing all of these things. And I just jump in and go, oh, you can fix it this way. You're going to be like, I don't know you from Adam, right? That's not how do I know this is going to work? But if I explain to you the situation that I was in, the emotions that I felt during this, how I felt lost or I felt frustrated, or I just, as a mom, I just didn't know what to do. And then I was able to connect by doing X, Y, and Z. Your brain is going to go, oh my gosh, that totally makes sense because I feel that way too. And that's how we do it. So Donald Miller basically came in. I mean, we were talking about StoryBrand, right? Like, he basically came in, and when I was reading his books and going some things, I'm like, this makes total sense of how we've been trying to do all of this. And he just kind of puts this system around it. So you talk about how do we do it? The empathy is, for us, you call a spade a spade. You just put it out there, right? Like, I am frustrated when this happens. We know that it can be hard to work through this. We understand that this is this issue, but like you said, you don't dwell on it. You make the statement, and then you give people's brains time long enough to go, oh yeah, that works with me, right? Like, I feel that. And then you go, well, this is how you solve it, and here are the reasons why you can solve it this way. And then it's written in a way that people get it. So you're absolutely right in terms of, you want to be empathetic, but you also want them to know that you know how to solve their problem. And here are the ways that you do it. So it's kind of like we have great customer service. Like, you can't say that unless you can back that up and you can qualify that statement by doing X, Y, and Z. And I think that's where the authority comes in, as opposed to we are the best because I told you so.
Right, and that's where testimonials and case studies and
Right.
Third-party data, like look at our Capterra review score and like things like that,
Right.
where you can basically point to outside indicators to say, we're pretty confident we can solve this problem, and here are some reasons why we're not just making it up. Like, here are some other things that contribute to maybe we are qualified to help you. Yeah, building a story brand is probably one of the in my top 5 list for most important marketing books for like digital entrepreneurs if you're trying to sell anything online. Because in addition to talking about the empathy versus authority, one of the biggest shifts that I remember the first time I read through it was going from being the hero to treating your customer as the hero, and really understanding your role in their story or how they see themselves and how they see their life. Walk through that just really quick. Like, what does that look like to not be the hero of the story when it comes to interacting with prospects, clients, customers, that kind of thing, to really help them feel like you are there to partner with them to help them accomplish what they want to accomplish?
Sure. If we jump back to like the 90s when we were talking about like traditional marketing and, early 2000s and all of that, it was very much we are the best, here are our awards, and this is why you should work with us. But the more that social media came into play, the more that we started creating communities online as opposed to just marketing, that type of messaging just didn't sit with us well. But we as a society didn't even realize why. But it was because we were building these online digital communities just like we would in person. So that's why that empathy and the authority is so important.
Well, hey there. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Honest Marketing Podcast. If you want to watch the entire episode, you can click right here and watch it right now. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get new videos every single week.